All right, everyone. So over here, this is our project. So far, we have completed this admin part and the authentication part and everything is so far it's completed, and we don't have any data yet in our template. So because in the last part, we deleted everything at the end. And now over here, if you have a look at this design, what we have right now. So this is how we need to create our home screen. So we have to bring this complete filtration options where it is completely overflowing, so the user can able to scroll back and forth, left and right, or you can just use the scroll bar, something like that, right? So now what we have to do is to implement this filter option and how to make it globalized, like how to keep it in the query client to filter the entire component, because basically this home is going to be a different component and the filter is going to be different component. Each and everything is in a different component, but they need to organize together, so we need to keep this in a global state. So that's the reason where we are going to keep it inside the query client, right? So now what you have to do is to let's jump back to our home templates, like means the home screen, the place where we are displaying. This is the home screen, right? The place where we are maintaining the entire routes, and that is where this home container is being rendering. So this at this point only we need to bring that. So let me delete all these unnecessary create template, use template, API, Firebase config. Let's clear the things. Close this, close this, close this, and even close this. So let's keep the home screen alone, and let me open the home container. So this is the home container what we are looking over here. So what we have to do first, we have to bring this particular point, right? So to bring that data, so what we have to do is to, so first we have to create the designs. So first we have to create the design. So let's say for this, let's make this complete thing, the home screen as, let's add some styles over here. Class name, this is equals to width full, then px4, and for the large device onwards the px is going to be 12, and for 2xl, I think for 2xl we don't need to specify. From the large device onwards, let's keep it in that way. And the padding, it's going to be py6, flex column, everything inside that, then item center, and justify it on the start. So it should be on the top like this. So let me enable the word wrap so you can see everything clearly. Okay, so now I hope you can see everything clearly over here. Now instead of this home container, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that filter section over here. So we need to bring that filter section. Then what we have to do, so right underneath it, what we need to do, we need to bring that the template. We need to render those templates. That means resume pin. We need to bring those resume pin over here. All these resume pin over here. That's what we need to do. So first let's go ahead and create a new component for filter. So let me collapse everything. So inside the components folder, I'm going to create a new file called filters.jsx and rafce, and let me export it from here in the index.js /filters. Copy it, paste it over here, save these changes, and now let's import it over here. Let's bring the filters from the components folder. So it's coming from components, so you should be able to see the filters over here. So now let's jump into the filters part. So inside this filters part, so let's fix the UI first. So let's say class. So I need to make sure that this is occupying the complete width. So let's fix that. So class name, it's going to be width full, flex, item center, and justify it in the starting position itself. All right, so everything will be pinned in the left side of the entire div. So py, it's going to be 4. Save these changes. Now it is in the starting position. So instead of this filters text, so now what I'm going to do is, if you have a look at over here, so we having this div and we having this entire div, which is not taking more than that entire division. So I'm going to bring this first, the clear button. So let's bring that clear button first. So div inside this div, what we are going to do, we are going to bring an icon. So I'm just going to say md layers clear. That's the icon that we are going to bring. So let's import that icon. Import from react icons slash md, and let's say md layer it's clear. That's the icon that we are trying to bring in. And class name size is going to be text excel. Save these changes. So you should able to see that icons over there. So now I can able to see my icon over there. Now what we need to do is I'm going to customize the styles. So class name, it's going to be border, and border gray is going to be 300, and rounded md, and px it's going to be 3, and py it's going to be 2, and from the margin right, from this I need to add some space. From this I need to add some space over here. So from the margin right it's going to be 2, and of course the cursor is going to be the pointer, and I'm going to group this group. On hover I'm going to bring some shadow median. Whenever I'm hovering it, I need to bring some shadow, and the bg color is going to be gray 200, and normally the position is going to be the relative position. Save these changes. Now it looks like this, right? You can see whenever I'm hovering it, I can see that the shadow effects over there. Now what I need to do is, all I have to do is to bring that clear all options, so which is coming really nice over here. You can see with some animation part, we need to bring that tooltip animation so over here. So for that I'm going to bring that animation from the framer motion. So I need two different objects from here, animate presence and the motion class. So here I'm going to create animate on presence. The reason why we are using the animate presence is because framer motion, it's going to add 3 sets of animations: state, initial state, animate state, and exit state. The problem with the React is when you try to plug out a node from the tree of nodes, from the list of nodes, it instantly plug that node and put it outside, right? So it doesn't wait for the exit animations need to be done. So we need to make sure whenever you are trying to plug out a node, a component from the React nodes list, we need to make sure that it still waits until the animation successfully and the node has been plugged out. So to do that, we need to wrap that entire stuff inside the animate presence. So that makes sure the animations are performed completely even at the exit state, right? So I'm going to bring a div which is going to be a motion.div. So inside this motion.div, I'm going to bring a paragraph tag which is clearly going to say clear all. So this paragraph tag, what I'm going to do, so this paragraph tag should not be, if the size is too small, it should not wrap the text content. So white space, no wrap. So that will not bring the all in the next line if there is not sufficient space. So text size is going to be excess. So now you should be able to see that text color, text size over the clear all or something. So this division is need to be in an absolute position. So I'm going to make this as an absolute, then minus top 8, then minus left 2. So that should bring the clear all option at the top. Then I'm going to bring some styles. So bg white, and shadow it's going to be md, and rounded it's going to be md. Save these changes. So that you should get that text, and we need to add some padding. So px is going to be 2, py it's going to be 1. So that's how the clear all looks like, right? So it's looking cool. So now I need to add some animation stuff. So for this animation, so what I'm going to do is, so basically if you have a look at here, it's sliding up and it's sliding down, right? You can see when it's moving up, the size is increasing, the scale level of the it's increasing, and the scale level is decreasing, right? So to do that, what I'm going to do is, so over here, I'm going to call the initial state of that animation. Initial state of that animation is going to be opacity, it's going to be 0. And the scale level, it's going to be the 60 percentage, which means 0.6. And on the y-axis direction, so if you're giving basically it's like a graph. If you give it a positive number, it will move from top to bottom. If you give a negative number, it will move from bottom to top. So in this case, it's going to be initially, it's going to be a little bit down in its point, like 20 points. I'm going to push down. So when I'm hovering it, I'm going to make that 20 points to 0. So it will looks like it's rising to top, something like that, right? So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it 3 more times, and I'm going to change this to animate, and I'm going to change this to exit, something like this. Initial, animate, exit. So on animate, the opacity level is going to be 1, the scale level is going to be 100%, so 1, and the y-axis point is going to be 0. So say this change. Now if you can see, if I do any some kind of animations, we can see it's animated now. So if I refresh this, you can see that animation stuff. Now what I need to do is, I need to show this option only if I'm hovering it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say use state snippet is forward state, or you can say is clear forward, something like that. So I'm going to keep this state as false. Then I'm going to display only if that is forward state is true. So cut it, is forward, and we need to display. If it is, that means if that state is true, then display it. Otherwise, don't display it. So that will be displayed on at point, which point? Whenever I'm hovering, whenever the mouse enter inside this division, this main division. Not that one, this main division, because that's the division which is wrapping these two sections together. So for this, I'm going to add on mouse enter. Whenever the mouse enter, I'm going to call callback function, and I'm going to say set is clear forward as true, right? Then I'm going to copy and paste this one more time. I'm going to change this more as leave. On leave, I'm going to change this to false. So if I open this, it will pops up. If I close this, it will pops down, something like that. See, on hover, this is how it looks like. So it's working perfectly. Now what I need to do is, instead of keeping this animation stuff and everything over here, I'm going to bring this animations to somewhere point, so that we can use it for later purpose for some other designs also. That's the reason we have created this index.js. So let's open this, and here I'm going to say export const slide up down with scale. Its scale equals to, open it, paste it, and we have to alter these changes. Use your multi-cursor editor to delete the equal sign and add the comma at the end. Okay, so then of course we need to add the colons also. Here we need to add the colon. Save this change. This is how it should looks. So now I need to use this where? Over here. Let me spread this operator and let me bring the slide up down with scale. Save this option, and now still it will work the same. So this will keep your code cleaner, so we can maintain all our animations separately in a single file, right? So we have successfully done this clear button option. Now all we have to do is to bring these filter data, the dummy data, and as well as with this some UI designs and everything. So that's what we are going to do next.